This is the EMBN Show, and we've got some exciting new bikes to talk about,
Come on, Don. Come on, you're missing the main story here. Welcome back to the Don on the EMBN Show. I mean, I know you've been on the EMBN Show for the past 7 years, but not full time.
No, I'm here, and we're in a new set as well. So some exciting things going on, but we're going to delve in to some brand new bikes, starting off with an all-new Scott Patron e-ride.
Don, I mean, it's really great to have you back full-time on EMBN. We did, after all, start the channel back 7 years ago in Alicante. One question for you. Your video on GMBN, your leaving video on GMBN, went incredibly well, 200,000 views.
Right, yeah.
Does the leap, and it is a leap, back to EMBN, does it hold any fears for you? I mean, did you feel that, you know, you're still being held to the mountain bike world, or?
No, like I said in the video, I'm really excited about riding e-bikes. My garage is full of e-bikes and not many normal mountain bikes, although I still will ride them. I still fancy a downhill bike ride occasionally. Mm-hmm. But I am really excited about the tech, about riding the things and talking about what's new as well. So I am excited. I'm a little way off riding yet. It'll be about April time when I can get back on the bike. But at least I'm pedalling my turbo trainer.
So you had an ACL, what was that, reconstruction?
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Repair, reconstruction, plus they call it an LET, a LET on the side, so an extra bit of support. It's a really common injury, I've come to learn. I mean, and then I talked about in the video about Jackson Golson and Jordan Williams having it, but loads of people have reached out and people have told me about their recovery stories, and now I'm 6 weeks in. I can give my own advice to other people, but it's fairly slow recovery. But I'm looking forward to getting back on the bike in spring.
Yeah, well, Don, it's great to have you back on the EMBN. Shall we start with the Scott Patron? Patron,
yes.
So the tequila, isn't it?
Exactly, and Scott, I think, have been drinking the tequila. But,
whoa, he's definitely back.
Well, they're making a bold statement. They say this embodies the perfect balance of power, precision and innovation, where cutting-edge tech meets unparalleled design. Unparalleled design, I'm guessing, because it is pretty unusual looking, I think, anyway. It's got their kind of integrated shock that they've gone for, I mean, across the board with their mountain bikes and their e-bikes. There's also, if you notice on the seat stays, it's kind of built-in lights.
I think there's quite a few lights on e-mountain bikes in recent months.
Which I'm not totally against, but I think for a lot of us, we're not bothered about having lights integrated in the bikes.
Well, my wife goes on about lights all the time when we go to the pub. She needs to have lights front and back. We're coming back. Honestly, we're going out on the weekend. I guarantee we'll need lights on the bikes. Do you know what? I actually really like this Scott Patron bike. Yeah. I like the design of it. I've always liked Scott bikes. One thing which is characteristic of Scott's, though, is the multi-adjust suspension.
And what that brings with it, I would say, is on the left-hand side of the handlebars, not only have you got your switch for the motor, you've now got a drop post and I can't remember what they call it, traction control.
Twin lock, three lock.
So you've got 3 levers and then your buttons for the e-bike as well.
So I'm not so sure about that, because I think if you do a certain type of riding, it's great if you've got the time to shift between suspension settings. But for me, and like we've talked about it quite a few times, that, you know, I might do a type of riding which other people don't do, which is technical uphill trails. And you're trying to focus on the trail. You don't want to be grabbing levers or buttons or controls.
Although it's true that I've got a climb where I do use the lockout on my bike, and that's where I'll just reach down to the shock. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but it's available in a 150 front and rear on the 900 and 170 front, 150 rear. 29 all-round Bosch CX motor, 800 watt-hour with a 250 watt-hour range extender batteries.
Yeah, and I think what we should be saying is that the new, what many call it, is the Gen 5 Bosch. Is it the MYU 3084 or something system? Yeah. It's more efficient. It's lighter, it's quieter. They definitely have worked on the sensors on that motor. Mm-hmm. At the moment, the new CX does stand up there as one of the finest e-mountain bike motors on the market. Whether it redefines what you can do on an e-mountain bike, as Scott say, that's a big statement, that is.
I mean, I feel like you hear statements like that all the time.
Okay.
So I'm not too upset by that, but you've got adjustable geometry on there as well. It's fairly slack already. It's around the 65 degrees, but you can slacken it by 0.6. with headset cups, and reach is 484. There you go.
Bottom line, for me personally, I think it's a great looking bike. Great motor, great battery range, great geometry. Your thoughts?
Interesting bike. I kind of don't quite see the market for all the integrated lights and all that stuff, if I'm honest. I can see where maybe it could be useful, but I think for hardcore mountain bikers, I'm not looking for that. I'd like to be able to put a light on if I want it and take it off if I don't.
That's that then. Okay, what about the Commencal Meta Power SX400?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting use of the SX motor. It's an aluminium bike. What Commencal are saying, it's a bike that they say is for riders who want the same feeling as riding a downhill bike, although it's using an SX motor. The name gives you what you get in the SX400. SX and a 400 watt-hour battery in there. 250, again, range extender. Battery is non-removable on this bike, and it is 170mm travel front and rear and 64 head angle. Pretty slack.
Yeah. It's pretty slack, 77.5 effective seat-tube angle, reach of 485 in size large. 170mm Andorra bike parks, absolutely the bike to have there. What has been really interesting in recent months is riding the new CX motor, which is 85 Nm, compared to the SX motor from Bosch, which is 55 Nm. I can actually get the same range on both motors, which I think...
From the same battery or relative batteries?
For exactly the same batteries, but the SX versus the CX, because the CX is now more efficient than the old drive unit, I can get the same range. I guess the thing with the SX is if you're spinning the higher cadences...
Can you do that?
I could probably do it for like 20 minutes, but the thing is, if you're spinning higher cadences on the SX, you're going to be pulling, 600 watts, right?
So it's the same sort of power.
So it's the same peak power. So I guess that questions, what is the future of the SX motor?
Steve.
Well, I'm just saying, I think there is a future for the SX motor, and I think, maybe in the bike park, which this bike is, where you're not using the motor all the time. I think if you're using the SX in like more of a trail centre environment where you're above 25k, it's like we talked about earlier, CR125s versus CR500s.
Is a lighter build on the SX as well. I did an Ask Me Anything over on EMBN Instagram, and that was one of the questions that came through about lower power motors. What's the future for those? And I kind of answered that, well, I don't know, because I think lies in the hands of the motor manufacturers, and then the bike manufacturers are just going to have to follow their lead, I suppose. Or it comes down to numbers. Who's ordering what? What's the future of them? Is anyone buying them or going to continue buying them?
That's a big question, Dom.
Well, exactly. I can't say I don't know.
God, he's back, isn't he? He's back. Bloody great, honestly. Okay, Centurion Backfire R2000. German brand, dubbed as a bit of a do-it-all kind of bike. They've called this a sporty eMTB. They like the word sporty, don't they?
What do you think of when you think sporty?
I think our colleague here, very sporty-looking gentleman.
Yeah.
Are you sporty, Nick?
No.
You're not sporty?
No.
I think of leisure. I don't think of hardcore.
That's kind of what I think. Obviously, it's different language, different interpretation.
It's hardtail, aluminium hardtail. It's again CX motor, 800 hours, 29er, 120 fork-on there. You've got two models, the EQ for €4,999 and the R2000 for €4,899.
So there you go, folks. 3 new bikes with different Bosch motors. Let us know your thoughts on those bikes, and let us know your thoughts of having the Don back on the show.
Okay, we've got a cool new product here from Peaty's. If you run a Bosch-powered e-bike, you'll know that the speed sensor is mounted to that rear rim underneath that valve, which makes it a bit tight, as you can see. But Peaty's got these new tubeless valves that come in an MX set. So one is 60mm for that rear speed sensor, then you have a front 42mm with that removable core, as usual with Peaty's valves available. Lots of different colours, and they're compatible with tyre inserts as well. Right, starting cool places, we have Jason.
Can I stop you there?
Go on.
Interesting thing about the Peaty's valves.
Yes.
Me and Louis were in Lake Garda and had the Mac go into the back wheel, had a puncture.
User error.
all those things happened, right? I had to fix the puncture. So I took the what I thought was a spacer on the valve and literally left it on the floor. Put the new tube back in. The bike wouldn't work. I just thought I literally that was like 2 years ago. I literally thought that was just a spacer for some reason. But it's a very, very important part of the bike.
Yeah, you could have fashioned a magnet from something, maybe.
You could. I've currently got spares which are on my garage door. Because it's magnetic, and the door's magnetic, they're just there, so I know exactly where they are. Anyhow, cool places.
Yeah, we're in the Lake District with Jason on a Pivot Shuttle SL XTR team.
Jason. Meanwhile, exploring new trails in Norway, Merida E160. Need to get to Norway, don't we? That's from Matthias Folstad. Yeah. And then up in Monarch Crest, Colorado, USA. This is a shuttle ride, but the eMTB allowed me to climb over 3,000 feet.
At 12,000 feet elevation. Oof.
High as. And then last one, Don, morning ride in Thailand.
Yeah.
Pattaya, feeding the cockerels.
On the Levo.
Yeah. Have you got any cockerels or sheep or anything like that?
No farm animals, no. I have a dog, a very annoying dog.
Right, okay.
Puppy,
right. Yeah. Tore your sofa apart, I hear.
You did.
It's naughty, isn't it?
It is.
What's the dog called?
Paddington.
Naughty Paddington. Right, time for some feedback from you folks. Now, we always take time to check through your comments. Let's take a look at a few of the recent ones. Now, a few weeks back, we did some digging for Black Friday deals, and Calvin Wright had this advice to share for those looking to buy a new eMTB. Don't forget your LBS, local bike shop. They can often talk to their suppliers and get close to price matching online offers. Local is very helpful when needing warranty work. Now, Don, I know that you spend a lot of time in your LBS.
Oh, well, actually, I live in Shrewsbury, which is really good. There's a couple, well, there's actually 3 really good shops in town, and my friend runs one of them, Trailhead. And I go in there all the time to get spares and advice. And actually, he's doing a roaring trade in Amflows at the moment. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that. Actually, he's just extended the shop, my friend Sandy, and the one room is virtually all e-bikes.
Do you know what? Talking about that Amflow, I have never, ever seen a bike which has caused so much joy, and I'd probably include myself in that, and also so much animosity in the mountain bike industry. I think that's another one for another day, though. Anyway, next up is, we recently went to Galvan Campers to talk about alternative ways to charge your e-bike. On that note, Militia0071 commented, just have 2 batteries for your bike, one fully charged to change after lunch.
Still quite an expensive way of doing it, I think, isn't it? Having 2 big
900 quid?
Yeah. Whereas, obviously, I did ride the Amflow bike for a video on GMBN, and I went to Coylew Brennan where they have a rack of e-bike charging spots. So I took my fast charger, and in 1 hour, I got it back up to full power. So there's no need to buy an extra
I
battery.
guess that's on the DJI bike, though, right?
The fast charger is pretty impressive,
Nonetheless, it's an option, right? And I think especially if you're doing multi-day trips, it's good to have a couple of batteries. But yeah, that's like for multi-day trips where there's maybe no charging. Yeah. We also spotted this comment from Liam. I'm afraid I don't get these light variants, all for the sake of a couple of kilos, which on an e-bike is a non-issue personally. That and the faffing about with extenders, charging it, and main battery extender. Give me the full fat 750, 800 watt hour any day.
Feels like that is probably the more popular opinion, I would say. But I quite like riding lightweight bikes, and I feel like, to me, it's a trail bike, and the full powerful, full-size battery is a different machine, but I do understand it. And, the future of the bike segments is all up for grabs, as we all know, really.
Up for grabs?
Well, we don't know where it's going to go, do we? But we have a...
That's why we got you back on the show.
Well, we probably have an inkling. It's all going to go full fat, but the weight's going to come down across the board, but we don't know.
So what if the weight comes down?
Yeah,
It's not about the weight, it's where the weight is, right?
Exactly.
I mean, look at me, look at Nick, look at yourself.
Yeah, but I do think for some people it is about the weight, but not, maybe not.
All right. Well, do you agree then with Bernard VRU-Link 2457? Your videos...
I think it's all about your videos here, Steve.
Our videos up until now... are unfortunately not relevant because none of them show or carry a water bottle. an essential requirement for cycling for more than 60 minutes.
Over 30 minutes, I've heard. Anything over 30 minutes, you should be drinking. I carry a water bottle, and if I don't, I'll have a backpack. But most of my bikes, unless I'm using an extender, or even some of those where you can fit an extender and a bottle, I generally do. You don't, Steve?
Bernard goes on.
Yeah.
Please always show or carry a water bottle on all of your future bikes videos, so it is easier for us to weed out the bikes and manufacturers that omit such an essential requirement. Nick, could you do me a favour, please? Could you pass that bag just up there? That one in the middle.
Manufacturers don't really omit water bottle mounts, do they?
So this is my answer. This is my answer to Bernard.
Yeah. Have a bit of this bum bag.
What I don't like, right? I do not like, Nick, is there any water bottles here? There's a water bottle there. Okay, sorry. So I'm bossing Nick around. So Bernard, here's my one for you. Is like you've got a water bottle on the down tube, right? Got a water bottle. So you go. The Whites have them. Canyons have them, water bottle mounts. I really do not like having loads of and dirt in the top of a water bottle and you're picking it up, you're drinking it. It's like, no, thank you. I mean, something like this, where you've got room for your water bottles there. You can put your water bottle inside. I tend to put a water bottle, and I like a metal water bottle myself, which you put in your backpack, and it's nice and cold. It's a nice feeling of metal on your lips. Won't go into that. But I think that's a good solution.
See, I'd rather just run out on the bike and be done with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Bernard. Yeah.
Bernard, the verdict's out on that. Not the verdict's out. What's the word on it? There's some things out.
Jury.
The jury is out on that. Bike Vault. New tyres and chain day. Giant Trans E from eMTB perspective. I like the red brick wall.
Jazzy, it's very shiny. I like it. Nice. And we've got a white... Oh, no, it's not. It's Canada.
This is your neck of the world.
Cluidians. Cannondale Moterra LT1 Neo. I don't know where that is, Steve.
That's north of Shropshire.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Bonfari.
Yeah.
Hendra Erwid. Hendra Erwid. Tony. Nice. Look, bit of Staffordshire. Actually, not Staffordshire, you're Shropshire,
it's
sorry.
Not far from me. But look, this is an LMX.
Oh my
Have you seen one of those before, Steve?
I have seen these many times.
So it's a mid-drive motor driving a chain ring on the chain wheel on the back.
Crusty crab. It's nice. Enjoying the trails of the Peak District near Sheffield. This is from David Mondraker. Like it a lot.
Good looking bike, that.
Super nice, right?
God.
Super nice. Short bike vault this week, but we will be coming with more over the forthcoming weeks before the new year.
We'd like seeing your bikes. Getting social, we're kicking it off with Gabriel Wibner. Getting pretty dicey. Well, it's got to be Dolomite, so it is Dolomite, it says.
Yeah, it's a long way down, isn't it?
Steven Seagal, that's where they filmed Cliffhanger.
Really?
Yeah, you thought it was America. It's the Dolomites.
Crikey. And what about this then? This is old Keelan Grant. Good old Keelan Grant over in Ireland. Was he on Rockfield, right?
Yep.
And then Johnny Solido.
This is a great looking track. I don't know where it is. Is that British Columbia?
Johnny Solido on the transition.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. Right, that's it for the social and the bike vault. Thanks for joining us on this week's EMBN Show. Like I said, it is amazing to have the Don back on the channel. Before we go, just a few notes of what's coming up on the channel on the next few days. We've got Rich on a Canyon Strive versus a Canyon Strive. That's the Underdog versus the Burrell version.
You got the fancy one. He's borrowed your bike for that one, has he?
Didn't wash it. You washed his Underdog version. And then on the weekend is a video which looks back at what was happening 10 years ago with e-mountain bikes. See you next week.